Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to English Grade 7 video lecture series. Students, today we will talk about our different SLOs that are under the competency of reading and critical thinking. So for reading comprehension, to elevate your reading, we will cover these SLOs that you're seeing in front of you. So let's read these SLOs that are of one competency one by one, and let's see how we can achieve it. So students, since this is all about reading, so we have action words and keywords like read and view, a variety of reading age appropriate and high interest books and texts from print and non-print sources. This is the generic structure of the learning outcome, and we will talk about texts that are describing things or explanations. For example, how something works. So if a text tells you how something works, how an idea works or a concept or anything works, that is falling under the explanation category. All these are explanatory texts and they give you information. So we will see about that. Basically, our main text is also about how things works and it is about explanations. The second learning outcome is we note the purpose of each type of text and read accordingly. Students, text is anything that is written that you can read, and there are different text types, but there is a purpose of each text type that we need to see, that why the text is written. It is what we call the purpose. Next one, we will extract, record and present information from the non-fiction text. Since we are specifically talking about non-fiction text, so we will see that how by reading a non-fiction text we can extract, record and present information, because non-fiction texts are all about information. Then last but not the least, differentiate literary from non-literary texts or informational texts. Yes, students, text can be categorized as literary and non-literary. We will see what is literary text and what is a non-literary text, or which we also call informational text. So these are all the SLOs of reading that we will see. So let's begin, students. Be very much attentive. This is your vertical linkage that I have put one of them over here, and the rest of the SLOs are all also present over there in the curriculum. Just write one after the other. Now students, for the brainstorming session, I would like to talk about this prompt and I want you to think about it. What types of non-fiction text have you encountered? And how do you understand the purpose of a text? Yes, students, do you know about what is a fiction and what is a non-fiction text? Yes, fiction text is about narratives. It is about stories. That kind of text does not exist. The narrative does not exist in real life, but it is made up, imaginary. It is fabricated. So all the stories that you see, the novels, the narratives, and they are called fictional texts. And on the other hand, non-fiction texts are texts that are having factual information. They have statistics, real-time data. They are based on reality and so on. So they are real. So such texts are called non-fictional texts. So now let's see. Over here, we have a chart that introduces you to the text types, fiction versus non-fiction. So in fiction, we have literature. It is made up, read in order, entertains reader. It has illustrations, it has characters, all the story elements, problems and their solutions. It tells a story. Here you can find personification, which means animals or other non-living inanimate objects can talk. It has a beginning, middle and end, just like a story. So texts that are following these criteria, they are fictional and they are literary. On the other hand, non-fiction texts give you information. So it has facts. You can read them in any order because it is not a story. It teaches you about so many things, about how things work, give you information, reports. They include articles, they have real-time photographs, and these are the features of such non-fiction texts. You can find table of content, photographs, headings, charts or diagrams, labels, or you can find graphs, captions, index and glossary. So these are all the text features of non-fictional text. So now by looking at this chart, you can clearly differentiate between fiction and non-fiction texts. Students, moving on, let's talk about non-fictional texts. They are non-fiction, which means they are based on factual information, information that you can verify. They serve various purposes, including informing. So these are the different purposes that we are studying of non-fiction text. It gives you information, it persuades you into believing any idea or doing anything, and explain how things work or how things are or how ideas are. So these are the different purposes of non-fiction text. Then understanding different text types helps in effective reading and comprehension. It means as a good reader, we need to understand and we should differentiate between all these different text types. So we should know that when we are looking at a text, we should immediately identify and keep in mind what the text type is. Is it fiction? Is it literary? Or is it a non-literary text? Is it an informational text? Is it an explanatory text? Is it giving us information in any other way? So how do you categorize poems? How do you categorize stories? Is it fiction or non-fiction? Now this question is up to you. Think about it and give your answers. All right. Now students, these are all the common types of, some of the common types of non-fiction texts. So you have articles. It gives you information on specific topic. Let's say we have an article on a latest gadget. We have an article on a latest console or skateboard. We have an article on different ideas like compassion, empathy. So the topic is selected and then the article gives you an information. It can be 1 page, 2 page or even more than 5 pages long. Then another common type of non-fiction text is biographies, which means it is the study of a person's life and discussing a life of a famous personality that is influential. It discusses the details or the details of the life of an individual or any person. We have essays. You are familiar with an essay, you must have written one. Explore a particular idea or argument. So essays are also non-fiction texts. Even reports are non-fiction. They present you research findings or data. Textbooks, which you have right in front of you, the English grade 9 book is a non-fiction text. All the text in it is, and you can categorize this book, textbooks, like non-fictional because they are educational resources covering various subjects, various concepts. So they are non-fiction. Now let's look at some pictures of famous non-fiction texts. So students, as you can see over here, we have a biography of Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. This is a biography because it is written by a researcher, some other person, not by Jinnah himself. So it is a biography. This is an autobiography of Anne Frank, The Diary of a Young Girl. All the essays are non-fiction. The textbook that you have or all the other subject textbooks they are non-fiction. Informational reports and even the newspapers, magazines, all of them are non-fictional texts. Alright students, now let's talk about the purpose of each text type. So informative means the purpose is to educate the reader about a specific topic. Persuasive, which means to convince somebody, to convince the reader to adopt a particular viewpoint or to perform an action. Explanatory text, explanatory is the purpose to clarify complex ideas or processes. So in order to explain a phenomena, a working of something, any gadget, any concept of biology, all of them are actually explanatory text. Descriptive, it means it provides you with detailed imagery and explanations of a subject. How the subject is, how does it work, what are the branches, the sub-branches, everything is about, is giving you some description. So when you have description, you have your descriptive purpose. The purpose is to describe things in detail. That is the purpose. So students, if we talk about informational report, now what is the purpose of such informational report? The purpose of this text type is to provide information. What is the purpose of an advertisement, an ad? The purpose is to persuade you, to convince you to buy the product. All right? Now, let's talk about some strategies based on purpose. So students, non-fiction text, we skim it to find our desired information. We skim the text for headings and subheadings to understand the structure, highlight the key ideas and terms while we are reading, take notes in your own words to summarize the important points, and we ask questions about the text to enhance our understanding or comprehension. So the reading strategy that you can apply is skimming. You can also, while you're skimming, highlight the key ideas and also ask your questions. Now, students, extracting information. The SLO says that extract information. Extract means get information. So identify the main ideas and supporting details. We use graphic organizers to visually represent information. We read a paragraph or any text and then organize in graphs. So we are extracting information into another text type, into another type of graph. We distinguish between essential and non-essential information, which information is important and which is on the secondary level. Record information in a way that makes sense to you. So when you're taking notes, when you're keeping a record of the information, it has to be logical and it has to be organized. So this is how we read something and extract information from such non-fiction text types. So let's talk about recording information. So when we are learning something, we are taking notes. We use bullet points for clarity and brevity, for conciseness and preciseness. Organize notes by topic or theme. We can incorporate values, visuals such as charts or diagrams to enhance understanding. For example, if we are learning a new concept, we can make diagrams, spider diagrams, we can make graphs or other such flow charts to record the information. Keep your notes concise and focused. So when your exams are on the way, when they are on your head, you can just look at the recorded information and understand everything clearly. Now, students, here before you is a text. Can you identify, is it a literary text or a non-literary text? How do you categorize it? And what is the purpose of this text? So now it's time for you to pause the video, read the lesson and ask and answer these questions at the end. These are your comprehension questions. You have to follow the while reading and post reading questions as well, even the pre-reading question at the start. So the classroom activity is to read the text and answer the following questions, and then the simulation link is provided for your help. You can watch it and I hope that you will enjoy watching it. You have a worksheet and Also, for the homework, you have to solve the given multiple choice questions. They are related to the main lesson. And by solving these, you can clarify everything that we have learned. All the resources are added for your understanding, students. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you in the next video lesson. Allah Hafiz.